Title: The Power of Consistency. Small Steps Equals Big Results by AI Audiobooks Empire. Introduction. Consistency is the quiet force that transforms ordinary lives into extraordinary legacies. It is not the dramatic leap that defines success, but the steady rhythm of small steps taken daily. Life rewards those who persist, who show up even when motivation fades, and who choose discipline over comfort. The truth is simple, yet profound. Greatness is not built in a day, but through days stacked upon each other with intention and effort. Every person dreams of success, but dreams alone are fragile. What separates achievers from dreamers is the ability to act consistently, even when progress feels invisible. Like water carving stone, small actions repeated over time create breakthroughs that seem miraculous to outsiders, but are simply the natural harvest of persistence. The world often celebrates the moment of triumph, but it rarely sees the countless days of quiet effort that made it possible. Behind every victory is a trail of small, disciplined steps that no one applauded, yet each one mattered. Consistency is not glamorous. It rarely feels exciting in the moment. It is the early mornings when no one notices, the late nights when fatigue whispers to quit, the daily choices that seem insignificant but silently shape destiny. It is the parent who shows up for their child every day, the student who studies even when tired, the entrepreneur who builds brick by brick. These small acts may not make headlines, but they build futures. This audiobook explores the hidden power of consistency, showing how small steps compound into massive results. Through 12 chapters of wisdom and real-life principles, you will discover that success is not about intensity, but about longevity. It is not about doing everything at once, but about doing the right things every day. You will learn how discipline creates momentum, how habits shape character, and how persistence builds trust and resilience. The journey ahead is not about chasing perfection, but about embracing progress. It is about understanding that the smallest step forward, repeated faithfully, is more powerful than the occasional leap. It is about realizing that consistency is not just a tool for success. It is the very foundation of transformation. By the end of this audiobook, you will see that the path to greatness is not hidden in extraordinary talent or rare opportunities, but in the ordinary actions you choose to repeat daily. If you are here listening, welcome to AI Audiobooks Empire. This channel is dedicated to bringing you stories, principles, and wisdom that uplift, empower, and transform lives. Every narration is crafted to inspire discipline, resilience, and intentional living, values that guide us toward becoming the best version of ourselves. So, settle in, open your mind, and let us begin our journey into the power of consistency. Small steps equals big results. Chapter 1. The Foundation of Discipline. Discipline is the bedrock of consistency, the unseen architecture upon which every achievement is built. Without discipline, intentions remain unfulfilled, and goals remain distant dreams. Discipline is the ability to act according to principles rather than emotions, to choose long-term gain over short-term comfort. It is the silent strength that keeps you moving forward when motivation fades. the inner compass that points you toward what must be done, even when your feelings resist. Discipline is not punishment. It is empowerment. It is the conscious decision to master yourself, to rise above impulse, and to walk the path of consistency, even when the road feels long and lonely. In real life, discipline looks like waking up early to work on your craft, saying no to distractions, and honoring commitments even when no one is watching. It is the parent who provides for their family day after day, even when exhausted. It is the student who studies despite fatigue, the athlete who trains when no one is cheering, the entrepreneur who builds brick by brick without applause. Discipline is not glamorous, but it is powerful. It is the quiet repetition of effort that slowly shapes character, the invisible force that transforms ordinary routines into extraordinary outcomes. Every act of discipline is a seed planted, and though the harvest may not be immediate, it is inevitable. When discipline becomes a habit, consistency becomes natural. You no longer rely on bursts of inspiration. Instead, you rely on the steady rhythm of daily effort. This is where transformation begins, not in the occasional sprint, but in the marathon of disciplined living. Discipline anchors you when emotions fluctuate, when motivation disappears, and when challenges arise. It is the bridge between intention and achievement, the force that turns dreams into reality. Those who embrace discipline discover that success is not about doing everything perfectly, but about doing the right things persistently. In the end, discipline is not just the foundation of consistency. It is the foundation of greatness itself. Chapter 2: Small Steps, Big Vision. Success is rarely the result of one grand action. It is the accumulation of small steps, each seemingly insignificant, but together forming a powerful force. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and greatness is built one brick at a time. Yet many people hesitate to begin because they underestimate the value of small beginnings. They wait for the perfect moment, the grand opportunity, or the dramatic breakthrough, forgetting that every towering achievement was once a humble start. The truth is that vision without small steps remains a dream, but vision combined with consistent action becomes destiny. Consider the athlete who trains daily. Each workout may not seem life-changing, but over months and years, the body transforms, the skill sharpens, and the results become undeniable. The same principle applies to business, relationships, and personal growth. The entrepreneur who makes one call a day eventually builds a thriving network. The student who studies one chapter at a time eventually masters their subject. The spouse who chooses daily acts of kindness builds a marriage that endures. Small steps compound into exponential results, and what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. The power lies not in the size of the step, but in the faithfulness of the repetition. The danger lies in underestimating small actions. Skipping one day may feel harmless, but repeated neglect erodes progress. Conversely, honoring small steps builds momentum. Each small victory strengthens belief, and belief fuels confidence. The secret is to trust the process, knowing that consistency turns small efforts into massive outcomes. Life rewards those who keep walking, even when the road feels endless. The vision may be big, but the path is always paved with small, deliberate steps. In the end, greatness is not about sudden leaps. It is about the courage to keep moving forward, one step at a time, until the vision becomes reality. Chapter 3. The Power of Habits. Habits are the engine of consistency, the invisible threads that weave together the fabric of your daily life. What you do repeatedly becomes who you are, shaping not only your actions, but your identity. Good habits build strength, resilience, and character, while bad habits quietly erode potential and sabotage progress. The key to success is not found in occasional bursts of effort, but in embedding success-driven habits into your daily routine until they become second nature. Habits are the silent architects of destiny, constructing the framework of your future, one repeated action at a time. Habits simplify discipline by removing the constant battle of decision-making. When an action becomes automatic, it no longer requires willpower or negotiation with yourself. Brushing your teeth is effortless because it is a habit, not a choice you debate each morning. Imagine if exercising, reading, saving money, or practicing gratitude became just as natural. That is the transformative power of habits. They reduce resistance, eliminate hesitation, and make progress inevitable. By turning discipline into routine, habits free your mind to focus on growth rather than struggle. They are the bridge between intention and effortless execution, ensuring that consistency is not a burden, but a rhythm. Real-life success stories are built on habits. The writer who produces a page daily eventually completes a book. The investor who saves consistently builds wealth that compounds over decades. The leader who listens daily earns trust that strengthens relationships. The musician who practices scales every morning masters their craft. None of these achievements happen overnight. They are the result of habits repeated faithfully, long after the excitement fades. Habits are the invisible architecture of destiny, the quiet patterns that determine whether your life drifts aimlessly or rises toward greatness. In the end, your habits are your future. Choose them wisely, and they will carry you farther than motivation ever could. Chapter 4. Consistency in Relationships. Consistency is not only about personal success. It is the glue that holds relationships together. Trust is built not through grand gestures, but through consistent actions over time. A friend who shows up regularly is more valuable than one who appears only in crisis. Loyalty is proven not in words spoken once, but in actions repeated faithfully. Relationships thrive when consistency becomes the heartbeat, when presence is not occasional but dependable, and when love is expressed not only in moments of passion, but in the daily rhythm of care. In families, consistency means being present, listening, and supporting daily. Children thrive not on occasional attention, but on consistent love and guidance. A parent who reads bedtime stories every night, who shows up at school events, who listens to their child's fears and dreams. This consistency builds security and confidence. In marriage, consistency in kindness, respect, and communication builds a bond that withstands storms. It is not the grand anniversary gift that sustains love, but the daily acts of patience, encouragement, and tenderness. In friendships, consistency means checking in, remembering important dates, and being available not only in moments of joy, but also in seasons of struggle. Relationships fail when consistency is absent. Promises without follow-through breed disappointment. Words without consistent action lose meaning. A leader who inspires once but fails to show up regularly loses credibility. A spouse who speaks of love but neglects daily care weakens the bond. True love, friendship, and leadership are proven not in moments, but in patterns. The strength of any relationship is measured not by intensity, but by consistency. When you choose to show up faithfully, day after day, you build trust that cannot be shaken, loyalty that cannot be broken, and love that endures beyond seasons. Chapter 5. The Compound Effect. The compound effect is the principle that small actions, repeated consistently, produce exponential results. Just as money grows through compound interest, habits and efforts compound into massive success. What begins as a single choice, a single step, or a single effort, when repeated faithfully, becomes a force that reshapes your life. The compound effect is not about sudden transformation. It is about gradual accumulation. It is the quiet assurance that nothing is wasted, that every repetition adds weight to your progress, and that every disciplined act contributes to a future far greater than the present moment. Reading 10 pages a day may seem small, but over a year, that's 3,650 pages, more than many read in a lifetime. Saving a small amount daily builds financial security that compounds into freedom. Exercising regularly transforms health, not through one workout, but through hundreds of workouts layered over time. The compound effect rewards patience and persistence, teaching us that greatness is not about intensity, but about consistency multiplied by time. It is the principle that turns ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement, reminding us that the smallest steps, faithfully repeated, create the largest victories. The challenge is that results are not immediate. Many quit because they do not see instant change, mistaking silence for failure. But growth often happens beneath the surface, invisible until it suddenly breaks through. The seed planted today does not sprout tomorrow, but given time, it becomes a tree. Those who persist discover that consistency creates breakthroughs, that the compound effect is proof that small steps, multiplied by time, equal big results. Success is not about dramatic leaps. It is about trusting the process, believing in the unseen progress, and continuing faithfully until the harvest arrives. Chapter 6. Overcoming Boredom and Routine. Consistency often feels boring. The repetition of daily effort can seem monotonous, but this is where success is forged. Champions are not those who enjoy the routine, but those who endure it. The truth is that greatness is rarely exciting in the moment. It is built in the quiet repetition of ordinary actions. The athlete who runs the same drills, the musician who practices scales, the student who reviews notes daily, none of these tasks feel glamorous, but they are the foundation of mastery. Success is not about chasing excitement. It is about embracing the discipline of repetition, knowing that each cycle strengthens skill and character. Boredom is the enemy of progress. Many abandon their goals because the excitement fades, mistaking the absence of thrill for the absence of growth. But true achievers understand that mastery requires repetition. The pianist practices scales until their fingers move effortlessly. The athlete drills fundamentals until their body responds instinctively. The entrepreneur refines systems until efficiency becomes second nature. What feels monotonous in the moment is actually the sharpening of skill, the deepening of discipline, and the preparation for breakthroughs. Those who quit when boredom arrives never reach mastery. But those who persist discover that routine is the hidden workshop of greatness. The secret is to embrace the routine, knowing that each repetition strengthens skill and character. Success is not about avoiding boredom, but about pushing through it. The reward lies not in the moment, but in the results consistency produces. Every repetition is a deposit into your future. Every routine, a brick laid in the foundation of your destiny. The person who learns to endure the monotony of practice becomes the one who enjoys the fruits of mastery. In the end, boredom is not a barrier, it is a test. Those who pass it prove that their commitment is stronger than their emotions, and their vision greater than their desire for comfort. Chapter 7. Consistency versus motivation. Motivation is fleeting. Consistency is enduring. Motivation may inspire you to start, but consistency ensures you finish. Relying on motivation alone is dangerous because emotions fluctuate, circumstances shift, and inspiration fades. Motivation is like the wind. It can push you forward for a moment, but it cannot carry you forever. Consistency, however, is the anchor that holds you steady when the winds die down. It is principle-driven, not emotion-driven. It is the decision to act because you committed to it, not because you feel like it. This is why disciplined people achieve more than motivated people. They do not wait for the right mood. They create the right results. Consistency is stronger than motivation because it is rooted in values, not feelings. Motivation whispers, "Do it when you feel inspired," but consistency declares, "Do it because it must be done." The person who relies on motivation will rise and fall with their emotions, but the person who relies on consistency will rise steadily, regardless of how they feel. Discipline transforms consistency into a lifestyle, ensuring that progress continues even in seasons of fatigue, doubt, or distraction. This is the secret of achievers. They do not depend on fleeting sparks. They build enduring fires. In real life, motivation may get you to the gym once, but consistency transforms your body. Motivation may inspire you to write a page, but consistency completes the book. Motivation may encourage you to save money for a week, but consistency builds wealth over decades. Motivation is the spark. Consistency is the fire. The spark may ignite passion, but without the fire of consistency, it quickly fades into smoke. Those who learn to rely on consistency discover that success is not about how often you feel inspired, but about how faithfully you act when inspiration is absent. In the end, motivation is a visitor, but consistency is a resident. It lives with you, shapes you, and carries you to greatness. Chapter 8. Building Trust Through Consistency. Trust is earned through consistent behavior, not through occasional brilliance. In leadership, people follow those who are reliable, not those who shine once and then disappear. In business, customers return to brands that consistently deliver quality, not those that impress them once and fail them the next time. In relationships, trust grows when actions align with words repeatedly, when promises are kept faithfully, and when presence is dependable. Consistency is the soil in which trust takes root, and without it, trust cannot grow. Consistency builds credibility. When your actions align with your words, day after day, people begin to believe in you. One-time excellence may impress, but consistency sustains trust. A leader who shows up consistently, who listens regularly, who makes decisions based on principles rather than moods, becomes someone others can rely on. A business that consistently delivers value becomes a brand people recommend. A friend who consistently shows up becomes a source of strength. Credibility is not built in a moment. It is built in patterns, in the repeated demonstrations of reliability. In real life, the teacher who shows up daily earns respect. The leader who consistently listens builds loyalty. The entrepreneur who consistently delivers value earns customers who stay for life. The spouse who consistently shows kindness builds a marriage that endures storms. Trust is the fruit of consistency, and it cannot be rushed. It grows slowly, but once established, it becomes unshakable. Those who live consistently become pillars in their communities, anchors in their families, and examples in their workplaces. In the end, trust is not given, it is earned, and consistency is the price. Chapter 9: Resilience and Consistency. Consistency requires resilience. Life will test your commitment with setbacks, failures, and distractions. The resilient person continues despite obstacles, turning consistency into strength. Resilience is the ability to bend without breaking, to endure without surrender, and to rise again after falling. Without resilience, consistency collapses under pressure. But when resilience and consistency work together, they form an unstoppable force, one that transforms challenges into stepping stones and failures into lessons. Resilience is not about avoiding failure, but about rising after it. Every journey worth taking will encounter storms, delays, and disappointments. Consistency means showing up even when progress feels slow, even when results are delayed, even when the path seems uncertain. This persistence separates achievers from quitters. Where others see obstacles as reasons to stop, the resilient see them as opportunities to grow. Resilience teaches patience, and consistency applies that patience daily. Together, they ensure that setbacks do not end the journey, but strengthen it. In real life, resilient consistency looks like the student who studies despite failing exams, refusing to let one grade define their future. It is the entrepreneur who rebuilds after losses, learning from mistakes and pressing forward with renewed determination. It is the athlete who trains after defeat, knowing that every practice session is a step closer to victory. Resilience fuels consistency, and consistency produces success. The world does not reward those who never fall. It rewards those who rise every time they do. In the end, Resilience ensures that consistency is not fragile, but enduring, and that success is not temporary, but lasting. Chapter 10. Consistency in Personal Growth. Personal growth is not achieved in leaps, but in steps. It is the quiet accumulation of daily actions that slowly transform character and expand wisdom. Reading daily, reflecting regularly, and practicing gratitude consistently reshape the way you see the world and the way you respond to it. Growth is not about occasional breakthroughs, but about steady progress. The person who commits to learning something small each day eventually discovers that they have become someone entirely different, stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Consistency in learning builds wisdom. Each book read, each lesson applied, each reflection made, compounds into maturity. The person who grows daily becomes unrecognizable over time, not because of one dramatic change, but because of countless small adjustments. Knowledge is not gained in a single moment. It is layered, like bricks stacked one upon another, until a strong foundation is built. The consistent learner develops perspective, patience, and discernment. They are not swayed easily by trends or distractions, because their growth is rooted in daily discipline. In real life, consistent growth looks like journaling to process thoughts, mentoring to share and receive wisdom, and practicing new skills to expand capacity. These small actions build confidence, wisdom, and resilience. The student who studies daily becomes the expert. The professional who learns consistently becomes the leader. The individual who reflects daily becomes the one others turn to for guidance. Personal growth is the reward of consistent effort, and it is available to anyone willing to take small steps faithfully. In the end, growth is not about speed. It is about direction. And when you choose consistency, you ensure that every step moves you closer to the person you are meant to become. Chapter 11. Consistency in Leadership. Leadership is proven through consistency. A leader who acts consistently earns trust, while one who is unpredictable loses credibility. Leadership is not about occasional brilliance, but about steady reliability. People do not follow leaders because of one inspiring speech or one bold decision. They follow leaders who show up day after day, who remain dependable in both calm and crisis, and who embody the values they profess. Consistency is the foundation of influence, the quality that transforms authority into respect and respect into loyalty. Consistency in leadership means showing up for your team, making decisions based on principles, and communicating regularly. It is about being dependable when challenges arise, about offering clarity when confusion threatens, and about maintaining integrity when temptation calls. A consistent leader does not change direction with every passing trend or shift in opinion. Instead, they anchor themselves in values, ensuring that their actions remain steady even when circumstances are turbulent. This reliability creates stability, and stability is what people crave in times of uncertainty. In real life, leaders who are consistent inspire loyalty. Employees trust managers who consistently support them, not only when results are good, but also when mistakes are made. Communities trust leaders who consistently serve them, not only during election seasons, but throughout the years. Families trust parents who consistently guide and protect, not only when convenient, but even when difficult. Leadership is built not in moments, but in patterns. The leader who shows up faithfully, who listens attentively, and who acts consistently becomes more than a figure of authority. They become a pillar of trust, a source of strength, and a beacon of stability. In the end, leadership is not measured by how loudly you speak, but by how consistently you live. Chapter 12. Legacy of Consistency. Consistency creates legacy. When your actions are repeated over time, they leave a mark that outlives you. Great leaders, thinkers, and builders are remembered not for one act, but for consistent dedication. Legacy is not built in moments of brilliance, but in patterns of persistence. It is the story written by daily choices, the echo of discipline lived faithfully, and the impact of actions that ripple far beyond your lifetime. Legacy is built through daily effort. The parent who consistently loves, the teacher who consistently teaches, the entrepreneur who consistently builds, all leave behind a story of persistence. The parent's daily sacrifices become the foundation of a child's future. The teacher's steady guidance shapes generations of minds. The entrepreneur's relentless pursuit of excellence creates opportunities for others long after their own journey ends. These legacies are not the result of one extraordinary day, but of countless ordinary days lived with extraordinary commitment. Your legacy will not be defined by what you did once, but by what you did always. Consistency ensures that your life echoes beyond your years, inspiring others to follow your example. The world remembers those who lived faithfully, who showed up when it mattered, and who chose discipline over convenience. Legacy is not about possessions or titles. It is about influence, impact, and inspiration. When your actions are consistent, your life becomes a beacon for others, a testimony that greatness is not about talent alone, but about persistence. In the end, consistency is the bridge between your life and the generations to come, ensuring that your story continues long after your voice is silent. Closing summary. Consistency is the hidden power behind every success story. It is the bridge between intention and achievement, the quiet force that transforms dreams into reality. While motivation may spark the beginning, it is consistency that carries you to the finish line. Success is not built in moments of inspiration, but in the daily rhythm of discipline, persistence, and faithfulness. Every chapter of this audiobook has revealed the truth that greatness is not about dramatic leaps, but about small steps taken faithfully. Discipline lays the foundation. Habits create momentum. Resilience sustains the journey, and trust is built through repeated actions. Whether in personal growth, leadership, relationships, or legacy, consistency is the thread that ties everything together. It is the principle that ensures your efforts compound, your character strengthens, and your influence endures. The world often celebrates the breakthrough, the victory, the moment of triumph. But behind every triumph is a story of consistency, of someone who showed up daily, who endured boredom, who pressed through setbacks, and who refused to quit when results seemed invisible. That is the true secret of success. Not brilliance, not luck, but the courage to keep going. Your legacy will not be defined by what you did once, but by what you did always. Consistency ensures that your life echoes beyond your years, inspiring others to follow your example. It is the parent's daily love, the teacher's steady guidance, the leader's reliable presence, the entrepreneur's relentless building. These patterns of persistence become stories that live on, shaping generations long after you are gone. So, as you close this audiobook, remember, small steps, repeated faithfully, create big results. Do not despise the day of small beginnings. Do not underestimate the power of daily effort. Choose consistency, and you will discover that success is not a distant dream. It is the inevitable harvest of your daily discipline. In the end, consistency is not just a practice. It is a lifestyle, a principle, and a legacy. And when you embrace it, your life becomes proof that greatness is not about what you achieve once, but about what you choose to do always. Thank you for watching and listening to this audiobook. I am truly grateful for your time, your attention, and your willingness to walk through these principles with me. Persistence is not about perfection. It is about continuation. It is the daily choice to rise again, the quiet decision to keep moving forward, and the courageous act of refusing to quit. Wisdom only becomes powerful when it is lived out, when it moves beyond words and becomes action. The end.